This is a story about a player who didn't skate faster, didn't shoot harder, and wasn't physically imposing. Yet, he holds nearly every significant record in hockey records, so untouchable, they will likely never be broken. This is the secret blueprint of the Great One, Wayne Gretzky. For those who didn't witness his career, Gretzky's dominance is almost a historical anomaly. How did the skinny kid from Brantford, Ontario, redefine a sport known for its brutality and power? The answer lies not in his muscles, but in his mind. Gretzky didn't play the same game as everyone else. While the fastest players were chasing the puck, Gretzky was chasing the space where the puck would be. This fundamental difference in perception is the core of his genius. His vision was his superpower. Opponents often said Gretzky had eyes in the back of his head. He didn't just see the 10 men on the ice. He saw the future of the play unfolding in milliseconds. He saw the ice not as a chaotic battleground, but as a grid of shifting probabilities. This vision created his legendary signature move, standing precisely behind the net. He called this spot the office. This seemingly passive position was, in fact, the greatest offensive advantage in NHL history. From Gretzky's office explained, he had total control. He was safe from hits. He could distribute the puck equally to any teammate, and he forced opposing defensemen to turn their backs to him, a cardinal sin in hockey. It wasn't physical skill that made Gretzky unstoppable. It was the hidden physics behind Gretzky's unique spatial awareness. Gretzky's success was not born in a gym. It was forged by his father, Walter Gretzky, on a backyard rink in Brantford. This is where his secret training began. Walter didn't teach him power. He taught him anticipation. Walter Gretzky would famously fire pucks at Wayne from every conceivable angle. He taught him where to stand before the pass arrived. More importantly, he taught him to anticipate where the opposing player was going to be. This was the fundamental shift. Instead of reacting to the present, Gretzky was always living in the immediate future. The greatest evidence of this lies in his assists. Gretzky holds the Gretzky records that will never be broken because he wasn't just a goal scorer. He was the ultimate playmaker. This ability to project the future of the game created the skill that truly made him the Great One. The ability to pass the puck not to a man, but to the space where the man would be 2 seconds later. He was a master of the area pass. The pass wasn't perfect unless the receiver didn't have to break stride to collect it. In Edmonton, his coaches often talked about how Gretzky saw the game as if he was watching the play from the rafters. He played the geometry of the game, not the physical force. This allowed him to avoid the constant physicality of the league, and more importantly, it allowed him to conserve the energy he needed for the final decisive move. He was a ghost on the ice. By 1988, Gretzky was a god in Edmonton. He had delivered 4 Stanley Cups, cementing the Edmonton Oilers as one of the greatest dynasties in history. He was the most famous athlete in North America, a symbol of Canadian identity, and had just married actress Janet Jones. Life was perfect. But behind the scenes, a devastating reality was unfolding. The owner of the Oilers, Peter Pocklington, was fighting crippling debt. Pocklington was an aggressive businessman who had leveraged much of his empire, and he needed liquidity fast. This financial instability led to the most shocking, controversial, and painful moment in hockey history, the trade that broke hockey. The transfer of Gretzky to the Los Angeles Kings wasn't initiated by the player. It was a business transaction driven purely by the owner's solvency. Gretzky, the central pillar of the team, the symbol of the city, was being sold like an asset. Gretzky was initially adamant. He did not want to leave. He was loyal to Edmonton, to his teammates, and to the fans who adored him. The reports from the time paint a clear picture. Gretzky fought the decision, trying to find any way to keep the team together. He felt a profound personal responsibility to the dynasty they had built. However, Pocklington, desperate and holding all the legal leverage, pressed relentlessly. He presented the situation to Gretzky as a fait accompli, essentially telling him the team had to be broken up, and the money from the Kings was the only way to stabilize his crumbling empire. This was the ultimate Gretzky betrayal, being forced to choose between the owner's ruin and his own personal devastation. The pressure on Gretzky was immense. When he finally relented, he did so not out of desire, but out of a sense of moral obligation to the situation Pocklington had created. He agreed to the Wayne Gretzky trade to L.A. On August 9, 1988, the moment the trade was announced, the emotional wound was public and raw. The press conference became instantly iconic, not for the handshake, but for the profound grief of the man at its center. As he sat between Pocklington and the Kings' owner, Bruce McNall, the gravity of the situation hit him. He was no longer just an athlete. He was a commodity, stripped of his agency and forced to leave the only home he had known. The tears flowed openly. The day Gretzky cried on camera became the defining image of the transaction, a national display of mourning for the loss of innocence in sports. Gretzky later admitted that he was devastated. He felt pressured by Pocklington, creating immense friction between Gretzky versus Peter Pocklington. The owner made it clear he had to sell, and the trade was already finalized. Gretzky had been betrayed by the economics of the sport. The immediate impact was clear. The Oilers' dynasty ended. The Kings, suddenly legitimate contenders, saw their profile and that of the entire sport in the U.S. Sunbelt explode. The Edmonton Oilers trade was a cultural earthquake. By moving to Los Angeles, Gretzky did what no hockey player had done before. He became a mainstream American sports superstar. He paved the way for every non-traditional hockey market that exists today. Ultimately, when we look back at the career of Wayne Gretzky, we recognize that his real genius wasn't scoring goals, but understanding space. He was the first player to truly weaponize anticipation, making the most complex game look simple. Whether he was distributing pucks from his office or enduring the painful business reality of being traded, Gretzky remained the purest student of the game. He was the single decisive answer to the question of what happens when vision and anticipation meet perfect execution. He didn't just play a different game. He showed us the blueprint for what the game could be. And that is why his records stand untouchable, a testament to the fact that in hockey, as in life, speed is important, but vision is everything. How did the trade truly impact the legacy of the Great One? Let us know in the comments below. We want to hear your thoughts. And please make sure to hit that subscribe button and join the Cold Gold Stories community. We'll continue to explore the untold psychology and dramatic narratives behind the greatest figures in sports.